Today I'm in a bit of a bad mood. I watched a video from Noah and it's just getting on my mind. It's bothering me. I was thinking of making a video to it, like an edited video to it, but I think he comes across as someone who's quite fit and quite good looking, but he's got the brain of like a 2-year old. And I don't know if I should even, if I'm in a bad mood already, I feel like analyzing his video would just put me in a bigger bad mood. But he basically took a Christian video where someone was proclaiming that evolution can't be the truth, that obviously God was true, and he did say some good points in it, but there's everything, almost everything he said, this intelligent Christian looked like a brain dead loser. And I feel like if you look at someone's eyes and they just look like, you can tell in their head if they're well or not. And just looking at him is just like, this is not someone that I want to listen to. But of course, this Noah Jacob TV guy, being the idiot that he is, he was like, yeah, well, that's obviously proof. You can't have a creation without a creator. And it's just like, well, you can. There's plenty of examples that you can have a creation without a creator. I mean, you could get a bunch of stones, throw it on a floor, and call it art. Now you could say, oh, but the only reason why the stones got that was because you threw it, so you created something, and that created the result. So there was a creator. But you could take that same scenario and say, well, if an earthquake happens and a bunch of rocks fall down onto a street and destroy the street, what do you think a creator did that? To say that every creation was formed by a creator is basically like saying that every earthquake, every volcano, every disaster, everything that has ever happened by natural causes, every wind and stuff wasn't created by nature or by life, but rather it was created by an intelligent life. And then they took things like, the complexity of this world, and the DNA sequencing and stuff. This is all evidence of a creator. And it's like, yeah, it is. This world is very complex, and this is evidence that there is some sort of God or creator. But to assume that God just pinged things out of nowhere, like ping, Adam, ping, I love the belief of the Sabrina the Teenage Witch kind of power, ping, elephants, ping, the world was made in 6 days. Ping, 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 ping. Done. 6 days later, boom. That's a shit, obviously not true story. And then so to say something like evolution can't be the truth because the world is complex and then obviously is a god. To say that that is fact, and then to say, oh, but the Bible says that God made the world in 6 days, and oh, the Bible says that God was made from mud, that Adam was made out of mud. I mean, it's like believing something that's um, you know might not be necessarily true or might not necessarily be proven, but then saying that something completely ridiculous is proven. So anyone who insults intelligence, that is actually the truth. Sometimes you should listen to what they say because they can say truthful things. It's hard for there to be a creator without a creation. Yeah, it's hard for, how could a creation happen if there's no creator? I mean, I feel like there's some truth in that, because part of creation is there is something that's creating it. But I did not make dinosaurs. I did not make the first atom. I did not. There's so many things that I did not do. Now, just because I'm claiming to be God, that doesn't mean that I'm claiming to do all these things. And I think Christians are just so dumb that they take, like, they're saying, if I drop this book, it will fall. It's like saying, now that proves that gravity is real. And then they take something completely different. And well, because gravity is real, that means that God is in the air and God is literally lifting things. So it's like saying that the reason why, if I have something and I drop it and it falls, it's proof that gravity is real. And then saying, and because gravity is real and we know God is real, that means that if we drop something, God chooses to not hold it and drop it because that is God's will. Or, saying something that's like has some truth to it and then turning it into something that's completely nonsense. Because God is real, God therefore pinged people out of nowhere. It's like that. It's really frustrating to listen to it, but there is some truth, because how, if I'm claiming to be God, how am I going to explain the first atom? And I don't believe that I had anything to do with it. It's the matrix, and it's knowledge. Um, people, there's this comment that I read actually underneath, and some woman was saying that some woman was teaching her about the Big Bang theory, and that the universe just came from a Big Bang, and she was saying, how can nothing come from nothing? And that, how can the Big Bang just happen, bang, everything there? I don't believe in the Big Bang theory. I think the idea of the universe just coming from a Big Bang is as ridiculous as the idea of God just going ping, and a human body being there. Things don't just happen like that. Intelligence, you could say that I don't believe that the Big Bang theory is real, because something as massive as the universe can't just come out of nowhere. And so that will be my way of proving that the Big Bang was not the truth. I think the Big Bang was true in the sense of the Milky Way, the MW, that came from a Big Bang, and because there's evidence that the stars are going outwards, and and something is spreading. So obviously it's in like a slow motion Big Bang. But there's loads of these type of galaxies. I think the MW is particularly big, and much bigger than most. But there are loads of these places, and then to think that all of them were just created out, I don't believe that. Things happen over time. Information is that just in the same way that a Big Bang nothing can't just come out of nowhere. I don't think God can just come out of nowhere. That same theory that disproves the Big Bang theory also disproves God. What God just came out of nowhere. So there was nothing, and then suddenly there was God, and then God knew exactly how to create the first atom. Suddenly, knew how to create trees and stuff like this. No, this is not what happened. I don't know how the first atom formed. Just positive and negative mixing together and forming some sort of child, which is the electron, and that forming the first atom. And then things sequence on and on and on. And I know what CERN doing, they're trying to divide the atom and split it. And I think that they're hoping that they're going to find some sort of answer to the universe or something through that. I mean, they won't find that. Because they are intelligent life that's being formed within the matrix. Now, intelligent life formed within a matrix can change the matrix. That atom, if you can, I don't even know how you'd monitor it. I don't even know how you would know if the atom has been split. I mean, so if it's so small, how would you know if it's been split? How are you monitoring it? If there's so many different, if you're trying to whiz it around in a big rattle and then get it to land in a specific spot so you can film it, how do you know you're filming the right spot? I don't understand how you're doing it. To me, the whole thing seems like nonsense. But I don't know if you've been studying this and you believe that you are filming the right spot or something. I don't know. Is it all just nonsense that you're telling people so that you can convince people that you're smart when you're not? I mean, is this big giant rattle that you've created actually real? I mean, I know I've seen some pictures of something, but for all I know, this whole CERN thing is just nonsense. I've seen the statue that you have of that goddess thing, but I don't know. I don't know, because I've not been in this position to know, but I know that you gain knowledge and information through time, through experience and stuff. And so the universe just created an atom. I don't know why. No one knows why, but it did that. And because the universe is whatever the nothing is, the nothing just repeats itself over and over again. And eventually, rocks formed, and then rocks got bigger because the nothing just kept repeating the same thing over and over again. It just kept getting bigger, and then this is how a sun formed. Eventually, it exploded and then formed the first galaxy, and maybe no intelligent life formed on that, and maybe it happened to happen. Maybe the same thing happened to happen many times before an insect first got created. And then that, I don't know how a soul got first created, no clue, but I guess life died, and I guess soul somehow was eventually formed through time. This is how God was formed. If God is a soul, then the first soul would have been created just through billions of years of of not being a soul, and then it would have, and then when it would have got to some sort of intelligence, it would have learnt how to control it, maybe create better things. Everything we have here, nice. Humans are pretty attractive, and I think on the first few planets, no intelligent life would have been attractive. It would have been dinosaurs. And I do think that reincarnation would have happened because these souls have that determination of life to survive. I don't know how the first soul was created. And I think if I was to talk about this, you know, people might say that I can't be God because I don't know the answers. But I'm saying, like, do you know the answers? I mean, how can you say that I'm not God because you don't know the answers when in reality I do have an answer, which is that souls and gods were formed just over time, a gather up of research, gather up of knowledge, them learning to develop and control the matrix just in the same way that, I don't know, humans believe that they can split the atom. I don't know if they can, but without humans trying to split the atom, it's never going to happen. Whether it actually does happen or not, I don't really know. But intelligent life controls the matrix, and this is what gods are. Gods are intelligent life. If you see God as not being intelligent life, but just an ultimate, an ultimate source that never dies, well, I think you're confusing gods with the matrix. And the matrix is just like a giant computer of information that stores up information. And just because the world right now is pretty complex, just because you can look at the very complexity of DNA sequencing, that doesn't mean that this same complexity of sequencing existed on the first planet. The first planet would have been nothing. It would have just been rock, and then different types of rocks started forming. And this, if rocks form over time, that's not proof of intelligent life. That's just a proof that these atoms have some sort of will to change, and some sort of desire to form. And I feel like once this desire to form, maybe that's where this first soul came from. It's an interesting question to think about. Where did the first soul come from? I guess the light. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And just because I don't know these things, though, that doesn't mean that, the Bible's true. The Bible, there's some dumb idiots that just have no intelligence. But that's another thing. How come some souls are very intelligent and some are just utter idiots? And yet you can't tell these utter idiots that they are utter idiots because they see their idiocy as intelligence. And it's a very big wind up, because you're trying to find the true information, but only some people seem to have it. So obviously this is proof of evolution, and then you can ask, how are some people more smart than others? And it's just because they've gone through more experiences, more time. And so a consciousness, an individual consciousness, has formed in the same way, through the matrix, getting smarter and getting wiser. And then the contrast between the smartest and the dumbest has just been getting bigger and bigger, because the dumbest are the new souls that haven't got this individual sense of reality. But yeah, this is again why gods and humans are so different. Gods can learn to jump from planet to planet. Okay, it takes them a timeline to do so. But gods have figured out this information, and humans haven't, because they're newer. But yeah, it is complex. But at the same time, just because I don't have 100% answer, that doesn't mean that I'm not a god. I know that if you knew what a god was, you probably wouldn't want to be it. Because being a god doesn't mean being, having everyone love you and worship you and look up to you. No, it means being ignored and having everyone be idiots, and yet see your smart intelligence as foolishness. because they are idiots, and then you've just got this complete battle between smart people who are trying to get smarter and dumb people who are just getting dumber or seeming like they're just getting dumber because they're saying more and more stupid things. Um, and I think the reason why they're getting more and more dumber is because they should actually be in animal bodies, and because the human population is getting too big too fast. The more dumber souls, the souls that haven't had as many animal lives, are coming into the human body, and they're creating more delusions and more lies whilst pretending that they know the truth because they see themselves as being smart. Um, and why the evil as well, evil, nasty people can be like, God's against this, God's against this, God's against this, and they're just telling shit. It's quite depressing. Um, but yeah, trying to figure out like why I like Maroon 5 guy so much, and I don't know his past, but I feel like he has a high chance of being a god one day, and I feel like if I look into his eyes, I can see that. Um, Hence, that's why I like him, not because I can see his past, but because I feel like I can see his future almost. Um, but yeah, I thought I should say that because I thought I should. But yeah, I'm trying to see the future of my own future, and I don't know why I can't do that, and I'm really hoping that something's going to happen this year, because I can't keep living like this. But technically, I can. If I spend the whole of my life in bed just hating everyone, well, I can't stop that. Um, and I don't know why people are doing this, but I feel like there's some sort of spiritual disconnection between me and everyone else. That it's just going to continue being this way until you decide to change things. And I did lose weight. I look really fat in this because I'm at a wrong angle. I'm lying down basically, but I did manage to get down to under 8 stone. But yeah, I don't seem to be getting any less than that. I bought 8 donuts yesterday and quite a lot of anyway. I um yeah, I just I really hope something's going to happen soon. I know David Guetta did that. I just can't wait till the weekend song. Is that a sign that something's going to happen soon? I don't know. People have been teasing me about this all for years, and it's because they've been teasing me about potentially something happening. It's making me wonder if they really know at all. I've heard rumors that Justin Bieber and his partner are getting a divorce and separation, and then that changes, and Beyonce as well. I've heard there's rumors that she's getting a separation. I don't know what the point of all this is. I guess there is a point because Justin represents Jesus and worldly people, which shows a sort of separation, or maybe not a separation. I don't know, and I don't know about Beyonce. What would be the point in separating Beyonce and her partner? I mean, she might get more followers if people think that she's single. Um, you know, queen bees don't just have one partner; they have many. So maybe that's part of the rumor. I don't necessarily believe it because I think they're a good match, but I don't know. I feel like they're going quiet. Like I'm not seeing any maybe I'm just getting the wrong. I don't know why, but there's no real interviews or any links that these people are not posting real information on their Instagrams, and therefore I don't feel like I'm getting a sense of what their life is actually like. Um, I saw a clip where Beyonce was faking an AI thing, but yeah, I just I don't know.